Welcome to another episode of Mizan Podcast. Today topic and guest are hot topic, tourism and aviation. We welcome to today's episode Dr. Khalid Al Blushi, who has a PhD in tourism media and specialized in tourism and aviation. Hello to Mizan program.
Nice to meet you, and I'm really honored to be with you today, Ms. Maimuna.
Thank you, Dr. Khalid. And first of all, we would like to shed light on the background, the childhood upbringing, and how it brought you to aviation.
Well, it's a mixture of different stories, actually, and in different levels and in different age level as well. Mm-hmm. But mainly it started from my childhood when we used to live in Kuwait and in Egypt as well. We used to travel. I used to travel from the age of 5 or 4 maybe. And then I get acquainted with airplanes in that early age, seeing the airplanes, seeing the crew, seeing the pilots, and seeing the airport in that time. And I didn't know what is going on around me because of my young age. But things grow with the time. And then I had a scholarship in Egypt, in Cairo. And we had something called the Omani Student Club in Cairo. That was in 1983. And there we had something called the Student Affairs, a department or unit within the club that looks after the students' needs and requirements, the Omani students. We were around 3,500 students that time in different specialization, boys
Maybe
and girls.
The highest number of students.
Highest number of
in Arab
students in a scholarship outside Oman that time, they were in Egypt actually. Right. So we had a big club, very big club. Anyway, within the activities of the club, that student affair unit or section or department, where we look after the students, whoever comes for the first time to Cairo, we receive him. We have a receiving or welcome committee. So I participated in that and I was heading that committee. Then things grow there. I remember they used to have 2 trips a year at the club. And those trips were not within Cairo or Egypt, no. It was overseas trips, right, visiting European countries. So my luck came into 2 visits we have done. And likely I was part of this committees where we do select the airlines and we select the hotels, destinations, and managing all those trips. And I was that time in the very early 20s. And I remember the first one was to Paris, Monte Carlo, Nice, Cannes. We had to hire private 2 charter airplanes, and we stayed in 2 hotels, fully occupied by the Omani students. And then we had to hire buses, more than 5 to 6 buses, because each bus takes 45. So the number of students was around 400, 250, 300, something like that.
That's a big pack.
It's a big number. So imagine running such a group, running or looking after their needs.
In Europe in that time?
In Europe. And then the second one was to Spain and Portugal. Mm-hmm. We have done the same thing, 2 trips. And we have a lot of incidents happen that time. It was really fun. And some of the students, it was their first time to travel overseas to Europe. But one of the funny parts was we had to make sure that when we have a program in the morning that students are awake to have breakfast, and then we get into the buses. And I remember my turn used to waking up the students early in the morning and to tell them, be ready for breakfast, the bus will move at that time. And this was the big shock for me, was to call someone at 5:30 to 6:30 in the morning and ask them to wake up. Please wake up, it's time to go. And then you hear the closing the phone in your face, and then you call them back again, and they get upset, and it was really
Everyone
fun.
has a different reaction.
Everyone has got a different reaction. I remember my roommate, he used to use me. He said, please, Khalid, I want to continue sleeping. Why don't you take my role and call the others in my behalf? I said, you want me to call like 50 rooms? He said, yeah, because I want to continue sleeping. So because I was nice, so I accepted that. So I got like 50 screams in my face that day. Every time, actually.
Early in the morning.
Every day we do that, yeah.
Right.
From there it started. But prior to that, there was something funny. I remember in 1983, summer 1983, at that time, the Ministry of Education, that there was no Ministry of Higher Education at that time. So the scholarship department, they give temporary contracts for the high school graduates to work in the ministry with 40 real salary.
As a trainee?
As an internship and trainee, only for high school graduates. So I was lucky to work at the scholarship departments at the ticketing department. Right. See how the luck and destiny
coincidence, yes.
Very strange. So I used to give the what they call LBO, the local purchase order, for the students to go and collect their tickets from the travel agency. At that time I was around 18, 17 and a half, 18. So it started so early with me, that passion. And then it grew with the time.
Later on, you decided to go for PhD.
Yeah.
And you've selected a topic which is so rare at that time. First of all, we talk about the topic of tourism and media. And which university did you select?
There is a story behind that. How I got to do my PhD, because it was not in my plan. But in 2003, I was approached by some officials that Oman needs to have a representative at the Arab Labor Organization. So there was a post there, and you have to do it by election. 22 Arab countries has to elect. There were, the three parties: the government, the private sector, and the labor parties. So I was a member of one of the committees at the Chamber of Commerce that time, the Human Resource Committee. So they said to me, we need to nominate someone from Oman to be Assistant Director General of the Arab Labor Organization. And that was the first time in our history to have somebody from the GCC, from the Arabian Gulf, and from Oman.
Which year is this?
That was in the year 2003 I was approached. In order to nominate the person for the session from 2004 to 2008. I was working that time in Oman Air in a position as government affairs and corporate and sustainability. I agreed. I said, okay, I will do it. But I said, why don't you give me the opportunity to do my PhD while I'm in Egypt? It's a good opportunity to study in Cairo and Egypt. They told me, what would you study? I said, I think I'll go into tourism. And then we had the election in Damascus in Syria in 2003. We won the seat. Oman won. Oh. Alhamdulillah, I was nominated. And I was given the position. I started 2004 till 2008. I applied for my PhD that time, and it was a really, it was a great and golden opportunity to do it.
Right. So you did it in the same country?
Yeah, while I was there. Right. But I had, of course, up and downs on it, and I have funny stories on it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you want to hear it, I can tell you about it.
Of course, we want to hear about your selection of the topic.
Yeah, the selection of the topic, because I love media, and I love tourism. Working also in the aviation industry, I was very much linked to the tourism industry as well, our sector. One of the funny stories I do remember that I have to do two things. First thing was, in order to have something called to equalize my academic background with the requirement of the university, Helwan University at that time, I have to do 21 subjects. I have to study 21 subjects and go to classes for 21 subjects. And after finishing the 21 subjects, I have to do 21 exams. In a very short period, I have to move between all the years of 1, 2, 3, year 1, 2, 3, 4 in Helwan University. And I remember one of the first funny, strange stories that there was a subject about aviation world. And I've been in the aviation world for many years. I was at His Majesty Royal Flight, and then I moved into Oman Air. I succeeded, I passed all the 20 subjects, except one subject. I failed, actually. It was the aviation world. Then everybody was surprised. How come you are an expert in the field? I went to the lecturer. I told him, I'm a student so-and-so. I need to know what was the reason beyond me failing a subject that I know. He said, because you wanted to be a philosopher. I said, why? He said, because he did not answer as per the book I gave you. I told him, yes, but because the book was printed in 1969. And my knowledge is far advanced
And we are in
comparing to what is mentioned in the book.
We are
He
in
said,
2003.
He said, I am the author of the book. I said, oh, with due respect, sir, that needs to be updated. He said, no, you should answer as per the information there. I told them, is that the issue? He said, yes. I said, my apologies for that. So I went, I did a makeup for that one. And I passed as per the information which I was forced to give it, which is against what I know, because it was very, very old information.
Obsolete almost.
So I passed.
Yeah.
Then things continued till I was asked to do chapter 1 and chapter 2 for my PhD. Then I've written 2 chapters, 220 pages. It took me a lot of time, a lot of efforts, and day and night, and references, coming to Moscow to take references, go back again, because the title was the effect of media on tourism flow to the Sultanate of Oman in light of the Egyptian experience. So it was difficult to collect information in 2005 and 6 and 7, because it was very rare and not available in the market, because it was one of its kind that time. So I've written the 2 chapters, but one of the mistakes that I was doing it by my own, without referring to my supervisor. So I took the 2 chapters, I went to my supervisor and to get her blessing and approval. When she looked at it and she called the janitor waiting outside, she said, please come. I was happy that inshallah she will approve it. Yani. She told him, please, this is not acceptable, throw it in the garbage. 220 pages, all my efforts. Of course, in front of your supervisor, you have to keep quiet. You cannot talk. You're a student. And that time, I was in a very high position in the Arab League, by the way. It's equal to something like an ambassador level that time. So she said to me, listen, you are my student. Forget about your diplomatic status. You have to follow my instruction. Of course, being a student that time, you cannot say anything. So I said, yes, professor, I will do whatever.
So eventually, you had to rewrite the 2 chapters?
I have to rewrite the total of 350 pages, including new 220 pages.
But today we have Dr. Khalid with the whole experience.
Yeah.
Yes. So now we move on to ethics and mentorship in the national context. You know, the labor market overall in Oman evolves like other Gulf countries so fast.
Yeah.
And with your experience in the field of academia as well as aviation, what's your take on ethics and mentorship?
You see, ethics, I remember we studied one of the subjects when I was doing my business, my master degree. It was in England, in Newcastle. It was business ethics. It was a subject by itself. And that was in 1996, I remember, 96, 95. It was newly introduced subject, the business ethics. People doesn't know anything about what's so-called business ethics. They consider business ethics as something intruding, like an intruder to the business. What do you mean? You don't trust us. You don't feel like we're trustable entities or persons. No, it's not. Ethics is even in our religion, in Islam. Yani, Rasul, Prophet Muhammad said that I came to complete the ethics and standard of ethics.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is part of our religion, our beliefs, and even it's in the Holy Quran. It is mentioned there several times. So it is not something new, by the way. All we have to do is just to implement ethics in dealing with people, in dealing with business. Ethics will add more credibility and trust into the daily transactions of the business, whatever you have business or dealing with people or dealing with the corporates or dealing with even countries, between countries. Ethics are an important issue. So I believe that the content of ethics is something mandatory. It's not optional. We have to go through it. We have to do it. It complements every part of our daily life. So when you deal with people, you deal with their dignity, with their humanity, with their beliefs. You have to respect whatever the gender is, the beliefs are, the behavior is. It's part of our it's an inherent right.
Right. From your answer, Dr. Khalid, I understand that you consider ethics even in a hierarchy higher than even law. And this takes me to the next question about how do you assess, after all this experience, aviation laws and crisis response?
Aviation laws are too many, by the way. We are in the aviation world. You are monitored and you have to comply with many organizations. Aviation laws and aviation operations are very complicated. It doesn't seem like people think it is so simple and easy. No, it is so deep. It is very deep. That's why I believe that two sectors in our life are very important. It's the oil and gas business, which is strict rules and procedures because you dig for oil and gas, and it is very dangerous operations. And then comes after it or with it on the same level is the aviation operations. Aviation operation has got monitors internationally, like ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization, and then you have the Arab Air Carriers Organizations, and then you have IATA, International Aviation and Travel Organization Association, and then you have also, this is part of the organization, by the way, they are not only one, there are too many, and this is something called IOSA for engineering and flight operations, and many other organizations. Those are the regulators of the business. Plus you have your own civil aviation authority. They all complement each other. You cannot, as Oman, as a country, work in silo alone by itself without considering the international rules and procedures governing this business. So we observe our rules in Oman from those big entities, our international entities, and then we shape it to meet our local requirement. But bearing in mind that we should follow even the international rules, because aviation business is not local, by the way. It's an international business. There is nothing called local business or local rules or procedures for the airlines. No, because you fly in Oman, you come to Oman, and then you fly to Europe, you fly to Africa, you fly to Asia. You have to respect each country rules, aviation rules, and even while overflying countries, you have to adhere to rules. If you are overflying countries in Asia or in the Gulf or in Africa or Europe, each country has got its own rules. There you have to follow. The pilot has to follow whatever rules imposed on him when he is overflying certain countries.
This takes us to crisis responses. How do you evaluate, because crises are crises, they are not predicted, and systems are evaluated on the spot. So how do you evaluate, or at least your take on how we respond to crisis in the aviation field?
It's quite important that the civil aviation authority in each country have to follow certain rules and procedures imposed on them by the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO. And within those rules and procedures, there is a rating or a percentage being given to each country about their resilience and ability to respond to any emergency. So there is something called emergency response teams in each country, and there are certain rules has to be followed, aspects, articles, manuals, policies. It's not an easy issue, by the way, because God forbid, in case of any aircraft crash in the Omani soil, the rules and procedures followed that time will be very complicated. It's, first of all, you have to have the quick response from the concerned entities involved in that, like the Civil Defense, ambulance, Royal Oman Police, Ministry of Health, personnel involved in that, the media, the international, the aircraft manufacturing company, the engineering. You have
embassies
for the deceased, it's so complicated. So in Oman, alhamdulillah, in cooperation with Oman airports as well, I think they do have a rehearsal every year. They do it once a year, and they announce it in public, and they warn the public that we have a rehearsal on that date. At that time, you will hear the sirens of the ambulances and police cars. There are teams well organized, well trained to respond to this sort of emergencies and rehearsal. So Oman is well equipped and ready for this.
Right. The minor crisis that we foresee every time and every travel
Yeah.
is the passengers' interaction.
Yeah.
Right? If a passenger is not happy for any reason, even if he's correct or otherwise, in both, this is a mini crisis. How do you see passenger rights and protection of the system
Right.
today?
You see, any passenger before he travels, he signs a contract with the airline that the airline will provide him. You pay this amount of money for this sector for this number of hours, and if you need to insure, you buy your own insurance, or you have automatic insurance through your credit card. That is something standard. But the rights of the passengers are protected through different channels. First of all, the Consumer Protection Organization in that country. There are also from European Union, for example, they have specially created rules and procedures and to protect, like there is an article called EU, European Union 261. If there is any delay, that it's mandatory for the airline to compensate the passengers a certain amount of money. And plus the civil aviation of the country itself where you are operating, they protect the rights of the passengers in case of delay, in case of aircraft flight deviation or divert to any destinations. There are all airlines are well equipped with that. They know how to handle those issues. I remember I used to handle this department, the customer relation department, where you have complaints coming from different passengers.
What's the challenge? When it's a domestic complaint, then they will go to our local Consumer Protection Authority, shout out to them. But if Oman Air or any other airliner is the passenger is in abroad for a different destination, and it becomes international or regional complaint, how is it? Is it challenging to manage?
It is challenging because each country has got its own rule for its own citizen and customer protection. Mm-hmm. The one in England is different. The one in Germany, the one in Far East is different from the one in Africa. So each country has got its own rules related to the consumer protection. But the airline itself, which is the airline that transports the passenger, has its own rules as well. System, discipline, policies, and the compensate him as per those rules. Bear in mind that when you buy the ticket and you confirm purchasing the ticket, you approved. You automatically, you have your own automatic signature that you approve whatever rules will be applied in you in case of any emergencies happening. So people doesn't read, by the way.
Right. Speaking of reading and contracts, I know now that you have the skill of review of contracts, drafting, redrafting, and negotiating. Tell us about it.
It is a passion, by the way. I don't know. I love reading contracts. It is one of the habits that deeply inside me, I enjoy reading contracts. And I do remember once I was reading one of the contracts for the company I was working with, and the lawyers were really surprised. They said, where did you study law? I said, no, I did not study law. It is something rationally, that sometimes there are articles on the contract. It's not reasonable and it's not logical. I need to discuss and see how we can. Before signing, we need to change it. We need to edit it. There are some spelling mistakes sometimes. In law, you know that one character can do a big change in the content of the contract. Right. So I remember I have modified a lot of contracts. Even some lawyers used to get upset with me because I'm not undermining them, but he said, yeah, I already reviewed it and I sign on it and I give my initial. Then I take it for review as a user of the contract. Right. And I told them, no, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 mistakes. And we had a conflict. They said, you're not a lawyer. Why you're doing this? I said, but it's for the benefit of that organization. Right. So it used to put me into trouble, finding others.
Yeah, but it proves to the best results are from the end user who is well informed of his sector and what it requires.
You protect the organization by finding those mistakes. Maybe the lawyer will do his best, but we complement each other. I always tell them, I'm not finding the 7 mistakes. No, I'm trying to complement you and ensure that these contracts are up to as per the standards and protect the corporate itself.
Right. My next question is about economic impact, especially right now. We are shooting during April of 2026, just for the record of everyone. The economic impact and regulatory intervention, especially with the existing situation that we have in the Gulf region.
Yeah. You see, first of all, let us move a little bit to the Oman Vision 2040. Whatever we spoke about now, the civil aviation, the aviation, the tourism, all those issues are within the agenda of 2020, with the Oman Vision 2040. The competitiveness level or stage or status of Oman is getting higher and higher every day. We are very close to the top now. I think the target of the government to be within the top 20 internationally, within the Oman Vision 2040. So this is one part, and that part led to the importance of what is affecting the economy within the existing situation. Were we ready for that before it happens? Have we get affected with that in a negative way? I would say yes, we did. But also, you see, you have to balance things when you talk about such crises happening in the region. There is winners and losers. Partially, we were winner when it comes to the oil price because it went up. So it compensated the government of the losses there. So it was like a break-even situation. What happened because of the crisis? There is a lot of SMEs, small and medium enterprises, lost their money because of the war. I mean, let us take one sector, for example, is the cruise ships. They are not coming to the region anymore. So this season already done, vanish, not existing. So a lot of tour operators and DMCs, domestic management companies, lost thousands of Omani riyals because of the blockage happening in the region and being afraid of anything happening for their cruises. There were a few cruises stuck in the Gulf region. They have to offload the passengers from the cruises, bring them to Oman, they fly from Oman to their countries. Likely that Muscat airport was open and was not closed at all. Alhamdulillah, this is one of the advantages for having our wise diplomacy in this situation, kept us in a very neutral position that I consider my country, Oman, is the open window for peace in the region. And Oman managed to mediate between all the conflict parties there. And by doing that, it helped us also to be partially on the safe side, not to get affected. This is one part. When it comes to the tourism and aviation, yes, a lot of packages has been cancelled, a lot of groups has been cancelled. Within the region, the flight within the region totally cancelled, but they have been resumed recently now to Dubai and Bahrain by Oman Air. We were used by a lot of countries to do a repatriation of their citizens through Oman when the war started. This helped us a lot, but the business is declining because of the war.
Right. This brings the topic of risk management. How could risk management support these organizations or these SMEs?
In the risk management, always the flight operation, the operation department of the airline works, and even the tourism units work closely with the risk management team and the business continuity team as well. When the war always starts, airlines always have plan B and C and D. See, they are very well equipped, by the way, the airlines. And hopefully also in the tourism business, they have the same practice. In the airline, there is something called the safe corridors. The safe corridors are new flight plans, are made by the flight operation to find different routes when flying to avoid the conflicts. But those different routes or the safe corridors are not cheap because it will increase the flying time, it will increase the fuel consumption, it will increase the ticket price, it will increase the insurance, it will increase the aircraft handling when they reach an airport. So it's not easy. But they have to do it in order to reach their point of arrival or destination. These are made in line with the risk management team and the business continuity team and other departments in the airline to ensure that we have plans for any crisis that might happen in the region.
Yeah.
And it is always there, by the way.
So your message also to SMEs is to have similar plans.
This takes us to the governing of the tourism business, especially the SMEs. Most of them here in Oman, they don't have. They don't have their own governance and compliance, risk management or business continuity. They work in a primitive way, very much primitive way. They don't consider this. I mean, I would say, please spend 50 riyal, 60 riyal, 100 riyal, 200 riyal with a lawyer. Sit and tell them, advise me what to do when it comes to my legal rights, to my contract. Because when you are a service provider and you provide a service to any customer, there is a contract between both of us.
Also, could insurance help in this situation, in your experience?
Sorry?
Insurance, having insurance for covering this crisis, is it helpful? Or?
It is helpful.
Right.
It is very much helpful. There is, force de majeure, we know that.
Yeah.
That really affect that business. And a lot of countries applied it.
Right.
But also the due diligence is something important as well. Okay? And the inherent right, الحق الأصيل.
Right.
For both parties. There are many legal terms should be used. We should be awakened now.
Right.
This is an opportunity, but sometimes wars are opportunity for people to awaken from comfort zone and look around them and say, "Oh, I'm losing, but why?"
Right. And make collaborations with other type of tourism opportunities.
To complement each other, to create teams. This is the time
Right.
where you have your own allied that can help you. But again, I'll go back again to your field, which is legal. They need to be educated in the legal field. None of the SMEs in Oman here are well equipped with legal rights and rules. They don't know anything about it.
Yeah, so this is an opportunity
For them to go and learn.
Right. Main question about the Gulf in terms of aviation is tourism resilience and legal preparedness. We shed light on this matter, but we want to talk about particularly tourism. The time of the crisis came in a time where cross-Gulf tourism was at point because of Eid.
Affected, yeah.
Yeah, and also because of the good weather of the Gulf at that time in February. How do you see the tourism resilience?
Let us put some light on the legal part when it comes to resilience and tour operators. I've discovered myself through my experience that majority of tour operators, they don't sign contract with the users of their services. They just give it by default. Again, it's a primitive behavior. They think everything is okay. But after what happened in the last few weeks and the war and the conflict in the region, they have made a lot of losses. Why? Because they were not insured. Insurance was a big player in this conflict. So in the absence of insurance and protecting your right and your customer right, it will end up that you pay from your pocket.
Yeah.
Because you have the right to sue you. So I always advise tour operator, ask your customers to insure themselves into crisis, and also the same with you, have your own insurance.
Yes, you reduce the losses from both
Both sides, and insurance will welcome that.
Right.
Very
It's
much.
a product eventually.
It's a product, and
Yeah.
but why they are not using it? This is the question. Why?
Yes.
Because the culture and the education. They need to be educated. They need to be advised what to do or what not to do.
So, Dr. Khalid, advice to more resilient tourism resilience
Yes.
is to manage a force majeure in a better way,
Yes.
contractually,
Yeah.
and then announce it when the crisis appearing.
And I would recommend also let insurance be mandatory, not optional.
Right.
Especially, I mean, when you open any business, this is my message to the Ministry of Commerce and Industry and Investment Promotion, request insurance with the minimum. You want to make business? Okay, but don't make business that you lose and the customers lose.
So the policy, insurance policy should be a mandatory.
Shouldn't be mandatory in all. You should. It's like the tax declaration.
Yeah.
You should have insurance declaration as well.
Right, right.
And believe me, it will benefit because you don't expect what will happen in the future. And crisis appears like that suddenly, like what happened. Who expected that there would be a war? And the most fragile business in the wartime, businesses are two, airlines and tourism. They are very much fragile.
Right. This takes us to a question about lesson learned from this crisis. Is the travel regulation becoming more security-driven than market-driven right now?
Indeed, it is more security-driven, and the evidence, we have it in front of us. The war really changed the whole formula of tourism within the region and the whole formula of aviation. Aviation went through that before. I mean, the war in India and Pakistan once happened like that. The war in North Africa and the situation, political situation in some Arab countries in the north, the Iranian and Iraqi war in late 80s. All those ones are very clear.
Right.
Despite all of this, Ms. Maimuna, some of them didn't learn the lesson. And they continue practicing. They said, yeah, things will be okay. Do not always believe that your comfort zone is forever. Don't work on silo. Work with others. Meet, talk, go. There are different entities here can provide you services and provide you with advice. There is a lot of mentors available in the country. But you read.
And reflect, yeah.
Read and reflect and implement.
Right.
But don't read and watch and say, yeah, things will be okay. And believe me, after all this, there is a lot of companies or entities who really went through these losses, but till now they did not insure themselves.
Oh.
Or did not even appoint a lawyer to look after their
To
operation.
close our discussion today in Mizan, then a question must be asked. What mindset should future leaders develop in legal and regulatory fields in the aviation and tourism?
It's a very difficult question, by the way, because usually there are organizations that mainly plays a big role in maintaining the business and looking after it, especially the aviation business, because it's a very risky business, very delicate, get affected with anything, get affected with the climate change, get affected with the political situation, get affected with the economical situation. That's why any leaders in that business should be well equipped with the knowledge. You see, aviation business needs to have knowledgeable people in it. Even tourism business, see, tourism and aviation are well connected. They are attached to each other, very much attached, and they get affected by each other easily. So any leaders in that field, in those fields, should be well equipped with the knowledge of the business itself. He should know how this business is done. Plus, it's difficult to teach people how to do, but you need to read and look and monitor
practice,
around.
yeah.
You need to practice, because aviation business and tourism business is not something academically can be taught.
Right.
No. It is a practice, it's an experience.
Yeah, decision making is taken daily. You have to be innovative.
You see, in the aviation business, the decision, it's not like, you see, when you are running aviation business, is different from you are running a maritime business like cruise ships or lying in an office. Right. The decision in the office, you can sit and think and have people and meet with them and decide what will happen in the next few days. But sometimes in the aviation business, decision should be in seconds. Right. This aircraft has to continue this route or deviate or land or go. You have 150 people on board. Their lives in stake in your hand. Right. Different from when you're giving a decision, you're sitting in the office. So you need somebody who's sharp. Same with a bit different when it comes to the cruise ships. It's on the sea, cruising slowly. It takes time to deviate. It's like almost turtle move, slow. Right. So the decision takes time. But in the aviation business, no.
Yeah, higher paced.
It's in momentum. You have to do it now and decide now.
Right.
So the mentality of the people who are working in the aviation business is a little bit, you need to be a bit sharp and able to take a decision. So that's why when you look at them, you feel like they are good. In Oman, mashallah, we have a lot of leaders in that business and well educated and well equipped with knowledge.
Right. This brings us to the closure of our podcast today. Dr. Khalid bin Abdul Wahab Al Blushi, PhD in Tourism and Media and specialized in tourism and aviation. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Ms. Maimuna, for hosting me in such a beautiful and a nice program, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.